Hi. Um, I've been, what the hell is that? Sorry, but I've been debating how to go ahead and start this channel. Sort of overthinking it. So I just decided, you know what? Let me just come sit down in nature, which I am in. I stopped by one of our local lakes. I live in Pennsylvania. And yeah, this is my thinking my thinking stoop. But yes, I just decided, you know what, let me just sit down and finally just wing it, get it done, because if not, I'm just gonna be overthinking it. Like the Virgo that I am, I'm just gonna be overthinking it and think about ways to make it perfect, and it'll never be. So here we are. Hi, my name is Cynthia. You can call me Cindy or Sin. It doesn't matter. Nobody really calls me Cynthia other than my parent, my dad actually. My mom passed away, but yeah, other than my dad and my grandma, nobody else calls me by my first name unless it's like at my job or something. But yeah. So yeah, you could just call me Sin if you want. So the thing that I decided to talk about to kind of just get this started and kind of explain to you how I you know, my history with spirituality and stuff. I just wanted to share my near-death experience. Dun dun dun. Yes, I had one at the age of 12. At the age of 12, you guys, let me start it off. This was back in January 19th of 1999. I was 12 years old, and you know, I was a regular kid. I really wasn't into sports. I would just do gym. That was the sports that I was involved in. I would just do gym, or you know, play tag or whatever with my cousins in the neighborhood, etc. Nothing out of the ordinary or nothing extreme. My brothers got that that part of the genetics. Always involved in sports and stuff, but not me. I'm the only girl of three. I have two older brothers, and yeah, so I was 12, and let me start off from the night before. January the 18th, 1999. That evening, I think was a Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. We had just gone to the Bronx, and I had gotten twists done in my hair, just halfway, and a bun at the top because I had a Martin Luther King show the next day. And you know, I needed to look cute because it was a concert. I had never really participated. It was part of music class. My friends at the time, who are still my friends now, they were a part of it, and they said, hey, you should join, it's fun, etc. And I did. It was cool. So yeah, we had to, you know, go looking presentable. I had got my outfit at Babies R Us because you know, they're so close for children. And so yeah, I was excited. I was just in my room that night before bed, listening to some Britney Spears, dancing around, when all of a sudden I got like a severe headache. Now, the thing with my headaches that I didn't know that wasn't normal was that I would feel like a throbbing pain. Like it was like pulsating. So just thought it was I didn't even really consider it a migraine. I just thought it was a headache, to tell you the truth. And I had been getting them more frequently. I did notice, however, and I don't know if I ever told my parents this, that when I was like younger, maybe 7, 8, 9, if I would like be jumping on the bed or be wrestling with my brothers, if I did too much physical activity, it would bring on the headache and it would bring on the pulsating pain. So I would have to stop and just relax and then let it go away. I didn't know if that was really not normal or if it was normal. I just thought, nah, whatever, it's nothing big. So yeah, back to January the 18th. So I was just dancing around, you know, I just felt the pain and I just chilled back, laid on my bed, and I don't know if this was either a download or just intuition hit me, but this just popped in my head and I was just like, I've never been hospitalized. Weird, right? I was like, I've never been hospitalized. I've never been to the hospital, like as an inpatient, etc. I don't really know why I was thinking that. So whatever, fast forward to the next day, I get ready. I'm wearing my off-white top, my black pants, my shoes, my hair. I'm excited because I never really do like styles. It was just either a bun or just my braids, etc. Not like these, but you know, like the ones with like the bolitas, the little barrettes and stuff like that, the ribbons. That was me. So yeah, so I go to school and my friends are like, oh my god, you look so pretty, your hair, da, da, da. And I'm like, thank you, but I'm like, I don't feel so good. And they're like, oh, maybe it's just your nerves. And I was like, maybe. They're like, oh, have breakfast. So I did. I had breakfast. That was another thing. I never really got that early to school to the point that I would eat breakfast, but just the excitement, you know, you get up earlier than usual and you just want to be there. So there I was. I believe I had waffles and an egg and I don't know if bacon, but it was good from what I remembered. So yeah, fast forward, we go to homeroom and then they say it over the loudspeakers, people, you know, who are going to be a part of the show, the Martin Luther King show, to start going to the auditorium. So I did. I remember telling my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Brown, I was like, Mrs. Brown, I really don't feel well. I feel kind of like out of it. And she said, maybe it's your nerves. So again, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. So I'm walking, and mind you, the halls are empty. Everyone is in their classrooms. It's only just a random soul here and there. And I see one of the aides, and she's like, oh my goodness, you look so nice. What's the occasion? I was like, oh, I'm part of the show. And she's like, oh, okay, good luck. And she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't feel too well. I just feel shaky. And she's like, well, I hope you feel better. And I was like, okay, thank you. So I'm walking, and it gets to the point, you guys, that I kind of had to, well, I didn't kind of, but I did. I had to lean up against the wall to hold myself up. And then I get to the auditorium, and we sit in our places, which was right in front of the stage, couple rows. I think it was like bleachers, so we could be like in size order. And so yeah, I'm sitting there in the front row because I was always the shortest. Well, one of the shortest. And my friends are just talking to me. We're just talking to each other, you know. And I'm just like, guys, they're like, what? I was like, I don't feel good. And they're like, what's wrong? And at this point, some friends are sitting on the first row of the seats in the audience. Nobody was there. It was just us getting ready, practicing, etc., shooting the shit. And the front row just started moving sideways, and I was like, whoa. I'm like, I'm dizzy. So they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm dizzy, I don't feel good. And at this point, it's kind of like, so one of the teachers, or one of my classmates, goes to the vice principal, and they're like, hey, she's not feeling well. And the vice principal goes, she looks fine to me. So she kind of brushes it off. So then they go to the choir director. And if any of my classmates are watching, they probably remember who I'm talking about. I'm not that good with names unless I was in the person's class. I remember all of my teachers' name, but I was never in her class. So I don't really remember her name, but she was awesome. So yeah, they tell her, and she sees me, and she's like, all right, let me take you to the nurse. So we're walking, and I'm like, oh, I really don't feel good. She takes my backpack, she carries it for me, and she leaves me at the nurse's station, sign me in, etc. Oh, that's another thing. I got there and they're like, no, we can't see. You gotta sign in. And I'm like, at this point, like ready to throw up. Sign in and then you could go vomit, which is exactly what I did. I went in, I signed in my name, went to the bathroom, and I was throwing up. I don't really remember being the type of child. I wasn't really sicky. I wasn't really sickly like that growing up. But, I mean, I guess the things that I did go through were kind of like major when I did get ill. But anyway, I'm throwing up, and I'm just vomiting and vomiting. All of my breakfast comes back up. When all of a sudden, I feel like a click, like in my head. I feel like something go like click. And I felt it. I remember I grabbed my head, and I just kind of went like, whoa, and I lost consciousness. I fell back. The next thing I remember was me laying on the floor and kind of like looking up this way and seeing a nurse standing behind me on the doorway. Honey, get up from the floor, honey. And I just looked at her, and I remember blacking out again. The next time that I came to, I was in the nurse's area, the nurse's bay. I was laying down in one of the beds, the cots that they had, and I just remember turning and seeing the vice principal, the principals, actually the vice principals, the principal. I don't know who else was there, but it was like all the big heads, all the big wigs, and I was just like, whoa, honey, do you know your name? Do you know where you're at? I was just like, yeah, my name is Cynthia. I'm at school. How old are you? I'm 12. And I'm kind of like, okay, what's the big deal? So amongst all of that, they're like, oh, we called your mother. She's on her way. And I'm thinking like, really? But whatever. All of a sudden, I see my mother rushing in. My mother, God bless her soul. She had on, I don't know if the boots were hers or my dad's, but you could tell that when they called her to come, she just threw on whatever she had. I don't know who brought her, because she didn't drive. I don't know if she called a cab, if she took a cab for like the first time in her life living in the U.S. to get there. I'm not sure till this day. But yeah, my mom showed up, and she was just there. Mommy, ¿qué te pasa? Mommy, what's wrong? And I'm just like, I'm okay, Mom. I'm fine. The firefighters get there. They give me oxygen. They put me on the stretcher, and they're wheeling me out. On the way out, I see the aide again, and she's like, oh my goodness. So you're not feeling better? She's like, good luck. Hope you feel better. And I'm like, thank you. So I remember getting into the ambulance, my mother coming in, and I remember seeing the EMT, and I was like, damn, like he is cute. And that was all I remember, guys. I blacked out. From what my mother tells me, I just started vomiting, like profusely vomiting. They couldn't get me to stop. I don't know if she said that I started, that blood was coming out of me. I'm not too sure, but let's just fast forward to getting to the hospital. She said that when we got to the ER, there was like a team of people just waiting for us at the doors. They just took me and wheeled me off. Eventually family members started coming to join my mom, etc. And then they gave them the news that what had happened to me was a cerebral aneurysm had actually ruptured. An aneurysm is similar to a stroke. It's when I think either an artery, vein, like becomes like a bubble, which is what I felt, I guess, the pulsating whenever I got the headaches, and maybe it would just go back to normal or hide and then just kind of come back. But this time it actually ruptured, and I kid you not, that's probably what I felt when I felt that tick in my head. So they're like, we're gonna try to do whatever we can. We need to do surgery. This is serious, life and death. Just pray and ask for a miracle. Okay, they do the surgery. I don't recall. I'm sure I was told this, but I don't recall how long the surgery was. But when they finally, when they came out, let me tell you, Spanish people is like, we need our own waiting room area wherever we go. Some people bring like a squad of 10 when they go to doctor's appointments, which I work in the medical field, so it's like, don't do that. But when it comes to like serious things like this, like my mother said, they needed to have their own separate waiting room area because there was just so many people coming in and out. So many family members. People came from Queens, people came from Brooklyn, people came from Massachusetts. It was packed, and till her last breath, she was always very appreciative to the support that she got from every single body that was there. She never forgot who was there for her. Neither did my dad, but moms, it's a little different if you're blessed enough to have like a mom like I did. So yeah, so they come out and they tell them, listen, we went in, we clipped it, which is basically they did the surgery. It had a total of 52 stitches. The scar, I don't know if you can see it, starts off right here and it goes from here all the way to, I don't think you can see it, but like right here and like right there. So from here all the way to there. I don't know if in the operating room if they were debating where to cut me, but I remember I woke up and I had like a little scar right here, and I'm like, how the hell did I get that? Like, I didn't fall that hard when I fainted, guys. So yeah, but anyway, and ever since that surgery, I've always had like these little bumps here. I don't know, but anyway, fix my hair. But yeah, they told them, we went in and we put a clip, which I do have a plate in my head. Reminds me of Pete and Pete, but I do have a plate in my head. It is, I don't think it's metal, I think it is plastic. So there are certain tests that I am, actually I don't know, I know I can have it's either an MRI that I can have or a CAT scan that I can have. No, I believe I can have an MRI, because I remember when I needed to have an MRI because I was getting a lot of migraines, and it had been a very long time since I had been checked for my procedure. Like, it's good to go, I'm actually due in 2 more years. It's good to go like every 10 years to get another MRI, just to make sure that the clip hasn't moved or that nothing fishy is going on in there, because there are chances that I could have another one. So, but anyway, they told my parents, they clipped it. All we have to do now is just wait. The rest is up to her. If you guys are religious, we recommend you guys to pray, ask for a miracle, because at this point in time, she has a 5% chance of making it out of this. Okay. When they told my parents that, I'm told that my mother just collapsed. She passed out, and they had me in I don't know if it was the recovery room, I don't know, but they had me somewhere else. It wasn't in a room yet, so they allowed 1 or 2 people at a time to go in and see me. And my mother was like, that my brothers, they would just like lay on me and cry. People would just go in there and just talk to me and tell me, to come back and, to make it. Now, during this time, what I remember waking up in a room, it was white. Like, it was so bright and just white. Had no doors. And I remember waking up, opening my eyes, and looking to my right and seeing, like, towards the end of the bed, or kind of like the side of the bed, seeing a rainbow and a sun. And I was like, oh, pretty. So I got up, and I kind of was getting chilly. So I got up, and when I got up and I like acknowledged it, all of a sudden I found myself out of that room, and I was just in a tunnel, a cloud, like kind of like I don't know if it was clouds or whatever, but I was in some type of a tunnel, and I'm just walking. At this point, I kind of look downward at myself, and all I can see is like a white gown and and Jesus slippers. You know those sandals that Jesus, they always draw him wearing, like in any imagery that you see of his? I was wearing one of those. I was wearing a pair of my very own. And so yeah, I was just walking, and all of a sudden I just look in that light. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's so bright, but not to the point that I'm kind of like it's burning my eyes. No, it was just like a big bright light, pulsating light, and I was just walking towards it. At this point, all I feel, you guys, it's just peace, stillness. Like, I don't remember feeling any emotion. It was just peaceful, so peaceful. And I just kept walking towards the light. Now, I'm like right in front of this light, and I'm about to walk through it, when all of a sudden I hear my name shouting behind me, Cindy. And I look back like, what? Okay, and I look back at the light, and I hear it again, Cindy. And when I heard it again that time, I turned back, and I just started running back. I didn't remember this till like maybe a month after, no, not even, like a few weeks after I had been discharged, because I remember my parents, they hosted a Hora Santa, which is like a holy hour where you just people go and they pray. They were Catholic at the time. They pray, and they were just thanking God and keeping promises that were made, for the miracle of my life, for the miracle of me making it well out of that medical emergency. So yeah, I didn't remember till around that time, and that's when I told my cousin, and my cousin, she was like, she got chills, and she made me tell the rest of the adults. They're like, oh my goodness, no, you have to tell them this, because wow. So yeah, rewind now. So when I came to, my mother and everyone else, they believed that this was when my uncle was next to me, that they said that he was yelling, like shouting, like telling me, come back, like make it. And I heard it, and honestly, like, we don't keep in touch with him anymore. Just we lost track. But regardless of anything, I thank him for that, because if not, I think I wouldn't be here right now. So yeah, I came back. I was hospitalized for 17 days, which in itself is like, what? The doctors were like, you need to change her name to Milagros, which translates to miracle, because this girl, wow, she made it, etc. It was, because it's rare for it's rare to hear about pediatric cases of cerebral aneurysms. Like, you could try Googling it, and you'll be like, wow, the percentage is so low. And I didn't know this till around the time that I had to go back to get my MRI, which was like around 2011, 2012. I had no idea just how rare those cases were. So it really made me, you know, the more appreciative, the more thankful, and the more of a believer in miracles, because I am living proof that they do exist. They do happen, guys. You're a miracle for being here watching this video. It's so many shit that we face on a daily that could take us out, you know. It's just wow. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to be alive. I wasn't always, but we'll talk about that another day. But yeah, so I was hospitalized for 17 days. They really thought I had to go through like physical therapy because my left leg, I couldn't straighten it. I had to keep it like bent. So I had to have like physical therapy while I was in the hospital to help move it. I walked around, etc. They did certain psychological tests just to make sure that, because honestly they didn't know if I was gonna, so much stuff could have gone wrong, man. So for me to be just, again, I'm so thankful, because so much could have gone wrong. I could have had my left side could have been like just dormant or just not, you know. I could have been like a stroke, you know, a patient that had a stroke. I could have been like that. So yeah, I was discharged. Actually, I actually asked the doctor, like, please send me home, let me home. And yeah, sad to see me go, but happy. So I went home, and a month later I was back in school. So yes, my story. I don't know who will be watching this, but I know a lot of my classmates still remember this day like if it was yesterday. And you guys, I want to thank you for your prayers that day. I want to thank you for your visits, although I may not remember, but I was told, you know, that a lot of my classmates were there. The entire school, Westbury Middle School, was so supportive. Anything that we needed. The school board was awesome. It was like she could come back whenever she can. We'll work with her, etc. It was just, I think I got packets of like homework sent to the house, and I would do those. But like I said, after a month watching nonsense TV, I was just like over it. I wanted to go back to school, and yeah, I was just eager to get my life back on track. So, but yeah, even after I got discharged, you know, I had a lot of meds that I had to take. Like, I was such a bad pill taker before this, but after something like that, they made me take some pills that were like this big in capsules. Whew. After that, I could take like 5 pills at once, you guys, still to this day. I still have IV scars on my arms because I've always been a terrible stick, thanks to my dad. And just a constant reminder that I'm meant to be here, and here I am. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you, getting to know you guys, through the comments or whatever. So just be nice, be kind. And yeah, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.